How is everybody doing? We're going to take a look at Simply Red, the first 10 years, 1985 to 1995 on compact disc. Simply Red were a pretty unique British funk soul band, mainly due to Mick Hucknall, the lead singer, his outstanding voice. He's a great singer. But the early incarnation of the band, there's some fantastic musicians in that too. So let's check them out right now. We kick off with Picture Book. This was released in 1985. You would have heard it a lot around then. The single Money's Too Tight to Mention was a big hit. That was a cover. And also Holding Back the Years, the Hucknall penned track. Actually flopped the first time round, and then it became a big hit when it was re-released. This is a good album. It's slick, produced by Stuart Levine, and still holds up pretty well today. Come to My Aid. That's, I suppose you could say, the sound of Simply Red. You know, the piano, horns, and kind of funk driven beats. Sad Old Red, that's a jazz laid back number. One of my favourite Simply Red tracks. Look at You Now. It's a bit of a banger. It's pretty full on with some great horn arrangements on it. Heaven, that's a cover of the Talking Heads song. Done in a kind of a Aretha Franklin kind of manner. Nice 6/8 swing to it. Jericho, that's a great track as well, one of his finest. Money's Too Tight, like I said, it's a cover. That was a big track, kind of down here in a kind of a, well, almost a disco version. You know, it's, you can dance to it. And then you're Holding Back the Years, Slow Ballad, and Red Box. Again, that could be like a Ray Charles song, you know. In No Direction, that's another kind of fast, slick, funky number. And then Picture Book, which is the kind of a reggae track. Again, one of my favourite tracks on the album. Yeah, so the band at the start, the first lineup was Tim Kellett on trumpet, Tony Bowers on bass, really good bass player, really good. Fritz McIntyre on keyboards and vocals, and he had a unique style as well. Chris Joyce, drums and percussion, Mick Hucknall on vocals, and Sylvan, guitarist, again fantastic guitar player, kind of a Nile Rodgers style. Yeah, this was a pretty good band, and they were actually very good live as well. Yeah, it's a bit ironic that it doesn't actually say who wrote what on this. Yeah, there's no lyrics in it as well. I remember buying this album, I think it was back around 1989, on compact disc. I've only picked this up recently again because I got rid of a lot of my CDs, but I've picked it up on compact disc again. It's very cheap to pick up. But this is a remastered version from 1992. It sounds a little bit louder, and it's definitely got more bottom end on it. But I prefer the 80s masters, to be quite honest, and everybody seems to agree at the moment. It just sounds so good. There's dynamics. Yeah. Yeah, it's bizarre. It doesn't say who wrote the songs. I know Hucknall wrote some of them. Some are covers. On the vinyl label, I reckon that the credits are there. So yeah, that's a picture book. Definitely worth investigation if you like 80s music with a touch of soul to it. It's a fine album. Album number 2 was released in 1987. It's called Men and Women. The production is even slicker than the debut, but still, it's a good album. Again, it has some covers on it, a mix of covers and originals. This one is produced by Alex Sadkin, who sadly passed away in 1987 in a car crash. Again, this has the original band. This is a 70s. This is an 80s pressing of this album. Again, I found recently. Had them all back in the late 80s, early 90s. East West, Elektra, CDs made in Germany. There's some great singles on this one. The Right Thing, that was a great track. I think that came out early 1987. I remember when that came out. I was always interested in the band. You know, like I said, a great vocal, great sound. Infidelity, that's a great track as well. Suffer, another good one. I Won't Feel Bad, in, you know, kind of a bouncy kind of poppy number. Every Time We Say Goodbye is on this. That's a Cole Porter track, and it was released around Christmas '87. Again, nice ballad for Mick to sing. Let Me Have It All, that's a Sly and the Family Stone track. And Love Fire, that's a reggae track. I think this is Bonnie Whaler or somebody. Move On Out. Yeah, the band definitely had their own sound, you know. It's a combination of Fritz McIntyre's keyboard, Mick's vocal, and then Bauer's bass is fantastic. You know, he's a great bass player. Shine, that's another one. I think Diana Ross, I think Mick wrote that for her. And then Maybe Someday, it's another great track. Oh yeah, it tells you the credits are on this one at least. The Right Thing, Hucknall, yeah. Infidelity was written by Hucknall, Dozier, Hucknall, like Lament Dozier. The famous writers, Suffer as well. I Won't Feel Bad, Hucknall, Simply Red. Every Time We Say Goodbye, Cole Porter, like I said. Let Me Have It All, Sylvester Stewart. Love Fire, Bonnie Whaler. Move On Out, Hucknall. Shine, Hucknall. Maybe Someday, Hucknall. Yeah, it's a great album. I love his playing, Sylvan. Really funky guitar player. Amazing at the old clean chops. Yeah, it's complicated music. It's great music. I love it. Album number 3, A New Flame, was released in early 1989. This was a game changer, I guess. It was a big album. The band were becoming very big at that time. Again, a great collection of songs. Still retains the Simply Red sound. This is a digital recording as well. DDD. I remember getting this when it came out, I remember back then, yeah, the album felt kind of cold. I suppose compact disc was like that. I remember getting the vinyl, and the vinyl sounds a little bit warmer. There's a little change here now of personnel. Tim Kellett is still here, and so is Tony Bowers. Chris Joyce, and so was Fritz. But there's a new guitarist. Sylvan is gone, and we have Heatot TP on guitar, and then Ian Kirkham saxophones. It's Only Love. That was a big single from this. A New Flame. It's another good one as well. I think it's kind of like a tango, is it? You've Got It. Another ballad. Great track as well. Great vocal. Core written with Lamont Dozier. To Be With You. That's another great slab of funk and soul. More. That's the reggae track on the album. There's kind of a reggae track on every album. Turn It Up. Kind of political as well. I think it's about the establishment. I think Mick was anti-Thatcher at the time. Lovelace's Tune. That's another good one as well. She'll Have to Go. Again, that's, I think, about Margaret Thatcher. If you don't know by now, that's another cover by Gamble and Huff. And Enough. Again, this song is the Simply Red sound, you know, certain sound, which they did lose after a while, you know. Yeah, so this one again was produced by Stuart Levine. Yeah, it's a good album. Certainly worth investigation. Next up is Stars. This possibly is the peak of Simply Red. It was released in, I think, around September, October 1991. I remember running out to buy the CD when it came out. It's one of those albums that kind of, we'll say, got so big and so popular, a bit like Brothers in Arms, I guess, by Dire Straits, and that after a while you don't even need to play it because it's everywhere. And this, between 1991, I suppose, late 91, for a couple of years, was just everywhere, to the point you kind of got sick of it. I've only really listened to it properly this week again for the first time in, it could be over a decade maybe, even more, and it is absolutely brilliant. The songs are fantastic. It's a great pop album, one of the best of the 90s without a doubt. His vocals on fire on this one. It's focusing a lot on Mick, you know. He's the star, he's the main man. The band is kind of out to sea on this one. Something Got Me Started. Not a great pop single. This one as well has kind of got the Manchester beat. Yeah, you know, everything in the early 90s has that. It's kind of have a beat that sounds a little bit like Stone Roses, or Massive Attack, or In People. You know, that kind of slick. You know when you hear it. Stars, another fantastic single and a fantastic track. Yeah, I thought this album sounded a little bit synthetic at the time, but no, there's still a bit of meat there, you know. It's still got a band, there's drums and stuff on it. Like it's pretty cool, you know. The production is good, but it's still got a band feel. Thrill Me, that's another good one. Kind of almost like a type of a James Bond theme. Your Mirror, song about kind of self-reflection and stuff, about blaming people and pointing the finger at people. It's a good song as well, a kind of 70s kind of thing going on there. But there's kind of birds tweeting in the chorus, which is a bit kind of strange. I'd say in retrospect it would have been nice if he didn't put them in, because it's kind of sweet. But again, it's satire. She's Got It Bad, that's one hell of a funky workout. A great track. For Your Babies, it's kind of a ballad. Nice track with a great vocal. Model, that's the reggae track on this album. I think Mick used to date a lot of models, and it's a little bit like what's his name, Lee Scratch Perry. The only thing is the subject matter is, pointing the finger at models, or a certain model anyway, whoever it was. It's a bit kind of snipey. The aging brings them down, once their beauty fades and stuff like that. Yeah, it's, I'm not standing up for feminism or anything like that, this isn't politics. But it's a little bit kind of a snide remarks, blah blah blah. I don't know. It's just it's an unusual topic for a song. Anyway, How Could I Fall? Kind of ballad territory here. Yeah, and then after that we have Freedom. That's probably the worst track in the album. It's just kind of half dance and half whatever. It kind of doesn't really do anything for me. Yeah. And in Wonderland, I think again that's about Thatcher's Britain. She's nearly gone by then, I'd say. There's a new drummer on this one. Japanese guy. Tim Kellett is still here. Tony Bores is gone. It says here bass. Tim Kellett on model. Pretty cool bass line too. Ian Kirkham is here. So is Fritz McIntyre. The video, moving picture book. 11 track video compilation. Yeah, there you go. The drummer, his name is just Gota. Drums, percussion and programming. The new bassist on this album is a guy called Sean Ward. There you go. Again, produced by Stuart Levine. Fine album. You could pick this up. I don't know, I think I paid €1 or something like that for it. Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. So, between 91 and 93, 94 anyway, all through the early 90s, Simply Red, definitely one of the biggest bands on the planet, playing all over the world, and then in September 95, Life came along. This it has a different sound. It's very different to the other albums. The drums are even more programmed on this. It's a bit uninteresting. When it came out, I bought it, and this is the one I bought back then. Yeah, it's more style over substance, Again, it focuses heavily on Mick, the solo performer. Starts off with You Make Me Believe. It's kind of a slow, down-tempo funk track. It's not bad. It has all the Simply Red elements, the saxophone, but it has not much substance to it. So many people, kind of more, again, soulful kind of stuff. Lives and Loves. Yeah, the songs are kind of unmemorable. Fairground, that's a good one. Yeah, and that was a hit from that. Then you've Never Never Love. So Beautiful. Again, that's kind of another kind of remark on some woman. And then Hillside Avenue is the reggae track on this album. Again, nothing to write home about. Remembering the First Time. It's formulated. It sounds like Mick singing over kind of karaoke out on the range. That's one I liked. I enjoyed that song. Yeah, that's kind of one that harks back to the early Simply Red. And We're In This Together was kind of a crowd chanter. Yeah, so yeah, the band is Fritz is still here. Ian Kirkham, Heater, the new edition. All the songs on this one as well are written by Mick himself. So there you go. Sly Dunbar, Robbie Shakespeare are on this as guests on a track or two. Bootsy Collins, Richie Stevens drums, Danny Cummings percussion, Hugh Masekela flugelhorn. Yeah, it's a lot of session musicians on it. Yeah, production's getting bigger. But the kind of the soul of the band is kind of disappearing. Yeah. Dee Johnson backing vocals. Yeah, so there you go. So that's life. That's life, but not as we know it. Yeah, this is the kind of one that kind of, when you listen to it, it's kind of like, it's kind of other nicer, better, Simply Red stuff to listen to. I think the magic is in the first 4 albums, really, and that's for me personally. I stopped buying Simply Red after this album, Life, over 25 years ago. But I'm going to update the catalogue because there's on eBay. There's a couple of sellers in Germany and they're selling CDs for like €2 a piece, and incredible. And the shipping is almost for nothing. So I'll update and because they're so cheap, and check back in eventually when I get more and do some reviews on those. So thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care.